Hopefully we take away how hard these nurses are actually working and how much we owe them our respect in the way that they provide safety and comfort in the most vulnerable situations. And let's salute the nurses out there.
I just wanted to start off by, asking you how you got involved with The Good Nurse. I think I read that it was the first film you directed in English.
The Good Nurse is my first American feature. I was sent the screenplay 7 years ago, or at least an early version of it. And I read it and I immediately was struck by the stepping stones that the screenwriter had let out to a story where we would not be fascinated with the serial killer, which was the obvious choice, but we would be fascinated and we would identify with the female nurse who stopped him. And that for me was a way in. That the material insisted on the value of humanity and not just an obsession with the darkness.
I would love to know what was really important for you to communicate about these events, because it's not a documentary. There's a lot behind the story you're telling. You're not just recounting the facts of what happened. So what were you trying to get across to audiences?
Well, hopefully what comes across is the value of Amy's humanity and the responsibility we all have as individuals in these systems to speak up and take responsibility. And Amy really did that. My father taught me one thing, which was that once in a while life gives you an opportunity to show who you are. And, Amy really showed who she was when she did what she did here. I also wanted to point out the problems in the systems we built, being the American healthcare system or the Danish welfare system. That doesn't really matter. They seem to become inhumane if the individuals inside those systems isn't insisting on the value of humanity. And that was, for me, the whole reason to do this film.
Yeah, you said a line in your director's statement. It was that Amy is a naturalistic portrait of a female hero whose only superpower is humanity. I thought that was a really great way to encompass her character. So I was just wondering if you could just expand a little bit more on that.
Definitely. I grew up as one of two boys, with a struggling, single mom who tried to, make our lives better, but also was caring for other people and helping in her job and being warm hands in the Danish system. And it really moved me to read this the first time and identify so strongly with it. It reminded me of my mother, and it reminded me of the value of these strong women out there who, without expecting anything in return, are able to really, change events in this life. And Amy did that, and I think that it's interesting that it feels so revolutionary to do a serial killer movie from a human perspective. But this really is that, and that made so much sense, even more when I met the real Amy.
Yeah, well, how involved was Amy in the film? Did you guys work together closely on this project?
We definitely did. I read the screenplay and the book by Charles Graeber, and then I met with Amy. I had to get some things confirmed. It almost felt too good to be true, what I read, so I needed her to confirm that it was actually accurate, which it was, and I stayed very close with Amy ever since. She was with us in the further development of the screenplay, in the prep, and in the shoot. She came to visit us a couple of times, and she helped us both in the understanding of the system, but also in the understanding of the friendship between her and Charlie that we were portraying.
You touched on this a little bit, but is there anything else in particular about either the medical system, about these people or characters that you really wanted the audience to take away after they watched the film?
Well, hopefully we take away how hard these nurses are actually working and how much we owe them our respect in the way that they provide safety and comfort in the most vulnerable situations. And let's salute the nurses out there.
Awesome. I'm going to have to wrap, but thank you so much for chatting with me.
Thank you.
Okay, have a good one.
You too.